pictures of a project that I made a number of years ago, and I'm just reconsidering working with it again. It's a project where I wanted to work about truck drivers, and truck drivers have a lot to say when it's about moving around in Europe in different places, especially at the time we had a lot of Bulgarian truck drivers, because at the time they were still not part of the European Union, so their labor was cheap, and they mostly did all the way down to Spain, or actually they came also, I don't know if they reached Egypt, but I know that they went to Syria and to Iraq until some of them got decapitated during the war, because they were the transporters between East and West somehow. Anyway, I wanted to make a play about them, and I figured out it's probably not a good idea to put them on a stage, because when they are good storytellers, I don't know, everybody who does hitchhiking knows this, the good stories come when they're driving and when they're looking in the central perspective. So I built the truck in such a way that people could tell their stories inside, and it's for 50 people to sit, so this is when it happened in Basel.
Welcome in Bulgarian.
My name is Sacha. I'm from Bulgaria.
Well, there's a number of different lines I wanted to follow in this workshop, and we started with a little excerpt of a play that I'm developing at the moment together with my Rimini colleagues in Berlin. It's a project about Europe, the democracy in Europe, the administration of a huge continental political organization and its distance to the people. We used it as a little workshop tool here by asking certain questions to the group about violence, about voting, about individual storytelling, which was fun to do. And then we looked at a number of projects, one of them being 100% City, a project that we're developing in many cities around the world, where we try to create a sample of the city, a representative crowd of 100 people that stand in for the thousands of people that live in these megalopolises. We talked a lot about how it would be to implement such a project in the Egyptian context, and how much it would be possible, legal or not, to do that, and which questions would be possible to be asked. And then we worked a bit on public space. We looked at projects where I do perform, interact with public spaces, and we went out here in the city, very quickly looked at 3 ready-made stages, you could call them. We stood there, we were silently watching and clapping as an audience does, but on a square in the backyard of an atelier, and here just across the street towards the Russian Cultural Center, where a guard stands and surveils the street, and it's a bit unclear if he works for the government or if he works for the Russians, or so I like that it had sort of theoretical part, but it also had quite some practical things we were doing.